Welcome to today's seminar. My name is Tu Pei Yu, and Professor Kono calls me Peggy. I am the host for today's event. Allow me to introduce myself a little bit. I received my bachelor degrees in physics here in NCHU, and I'm currently a master's student of physics in National Tsinghua University. I'm a participant of MAGI program 2021 and 2022. During my stay at Rice University, I was hosted by Professor Kono, today's speaker. Professor Kono is one of the founders of the Tomodachi program, which aims to support female students in STEM fields and encourage female students to pursue degrees overseas. Thanks to Professor Kono, Professor Lee from NTU, and Professor Song from NCHU, and our generous sponsors, we now have a MAGI program, which is the Taiwanese version of Tomodachi programs. I had a wonderful time at Rice University, and I find myself constantly thinking about the time I spent there. Not enough word can describe how much I enjoy this program, so I will leave it to Professor Kono. It's our honor and privilege to have Professor Kono to introduce this amazing opportunity to us. Let's welcome Professor Kono.
Thank you very much, Peggy, for the very kind introduction. So good afternoon, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here to see all the alumni, students, and to introduce our program to future participants. So I'm from Rice University, which is located in the city of Houston. So Houston is here. It's in the state of Texas. So I'm sure you know the East Coast. So East Coast, including New York and New Jersey, Carolina, and so on, and the West Coast, the states of Washington, Oregon, and California. Texas is on the Gulf Coast. So this region is called Gulf of Mexico. We are not too far from the coastline. So this is Houston, and so this is Galveston. About 45 minutes from Houston to Galveston. This is where we have a lot of beaches. So this is actually an island, a beautiful island, about 50 to 60 kilometers long. So Texas. So you probably have some images about Texas from movies or reading books. Yeah, so cowboys and with horses, people carrying guns. But Houston doesn't look like this. Houston is a big city. It's the fourth largest city in the United States in population, after New York City, Los Angeles, and Chicago. And it's called the energy capital of the US. So the headquarters of all the major oil companies are in downtown Houston. Also, Houston is known as the Space City, USA, because Houston is the home for the NASA Johnson Space Center, where astronauts are training. Also, we have the historical control room for NASA operations. Houston is one of the few cities which have all the major sport teams and opera, ballet, and symphony. About 7 million people live in the greater Houston area, including 2.5 million people within the city of Houston, and people from all over the world. It's one of the most diverse cities in the United States, racially, religiously, and culturally. You can find any food from any area of the world. The weather in Houston is always nice, always sunny, even especially in winters. Even in January, the Houston the temperature can be over 20 Celsius, where the rest of the country is frozen in January and February. It's funny, within the U.S., Houston is known to be very humid. But then yesterday I was talking to the students here. They said that when they were in Houston, they felt that it was dry. So everything's relative. So Taiwan is more humid. Yeah, so this is more details about Houston. So there are two loops, inner loop and the outer loop. So this way you go to Dallas. If you go this way, you go to Austin. If you go this way, you go to San Antonio and eventually Los Angeles. If you go this way, you go to New Orleans and Jacksonville, Florida. So Houston has many different districts, and our district is number 66, also known as the Museum District. So this is the Rice campus, and we are next to many museums, 19 museums and cultural centers and galleries. For example, we have the Museum of Fine Arts, Holocaust Museum, Children's Museum, Houston Museum of Natural Science. We're also next to this beautiful park, Harmon Park, which includes the Houston Zoo and golf course. Also, we have an outside theater within this park. Also, in this area, we have the Texas Medical Center. This Texas Medical Center, TMC, is the largest medical center in the world. It contains 54 medicine-related institutions with 21 hospitals and 8 specialty institutions and 8 academic and research institutions. And so the Texas Medical Center and Rice share a building called the Bioscience Research Collaborative. So this is where some of the MACHI students did research, and the researchers from both the Texas Medical Center and Rice University work collaboratively in this building. So the Rice campus is very well defined by this outer loop. This outer loop, the distance is about 3 miles or 5 kilometers, and it's a beautiful running trail. There are lots of trees, so it has a very nice shade. It's a shaded running trail, and we have many runners, and weekly we compete in mileage. So this is how our beautiful campus looks like. So Rice is a private university founded by a successful business person whose name is William Rice. It has nothing to do with rice to eat. Somebody's name. It was founded in 1912, a little over 100 years. It's a rather small school, so we have about 4,000 undergraduate students in total. We have about the same number of graduate students and about the same number of trees on this beautiful campus. And also we have about the same number of 4,000 international students overall. So Rice is quite international, right? So 4,000 undergraduate students, 4,000 graduate students, and among them 4,000 people came from other countries. For example, this is my group. Students from Japan, China, U.S., Iran, Uruguay, Russia, India, Iran. Do you know what this country is? Malaysia, yes. How about this? Lebanon, yeah. Yeah, so people from all over the world. So overall, 12.5% of undergraduate students are international, and 43% of the graduate student body are international, and mostly Asian. So the 75% of our international students are from Asia, and then only 6% from Europe, 3% from Middle East. Yeah, so the largest number of students, international students, come from China. So 892 out of 4,000 from China, second India, and Taiwan number 3. So we currently have 82 graduate students from Taiwan. This is pretty big compared to Japan, my home country. Yeah, Japan only has 2 undergraduates and 14 graduate students. So Taiwan has 11 undergraduate students, 82 graduate students, and 14 scholars, including faculty members. All right, let's go back to this picture. So this at the west end of this campus is the famous football stadium, and this football stadium is famous not because of football. Rice's football team is not very good. It's famous because of the famous speech made by President Kennedy in 1962 from the center field of the stadium. Yeah, he said we choose to go to the moon, not because they're easy, but because they are hard. So this was September 12, 1962, and last September 2022 we had a big celebration on the 60th anniversary of the JFK speech. So this was co-organized by Rice University and NASA. So Rice and NASA have had a very good relationship since then, since the 1960s, and a total of 14 Rice faculty and alumni have served as astronauts. And in particular, the current boss, the president or director of NASA, is a graduate of Rice University. And on the Rice campus, we have an institute called the Rice Space Institute, where people from both Rice and NASA working together. All right, so that was my introduction to Houston and Rice, and let me talk about the NCHU-TOMODACHI program. This is the main topic of discussion today, and please feel free to stop me, interrupt me if you have any questions. Of course, you can ask questions at the end, but feel free to stop me. So first, let me give you an overview of this program. This is a research internship program provided by Rice University and Lehigh University, and this program, these programs, Machi and Tomodachi, we're working together. The 2 programs are working together, are open to Japanese and Taiwanese female students majoring in science and engineering. I want to emphasize that it's open to any field, okay? Not just physics or electrical engineering. I myself is a professor of electrical engineering, and my degrees are in physics and applied physics. But these programs are open to anyone majoring in any field of science and engineering. And Professor Samsung mentioned that we start with a 3-week online programming each year in September. So all selected students, both Taiwanese and Japanese students, participate in this program to learn. This includes language skills, lessons on presentations. Also, you will get a chance to meet with professional people, especially female researchers successfully working in the US. And then, so that's the first part. And the second part is a 5-week research internship from February to March. Okay, and so each selected student is assigned to a professor as advisor, either at Rice University or Lehigh University. I'm sorry. So this is no, all Machi students come to Rice. Only Japanese students, they are divided between Rice and Lehigh. And each student is assigned to a graduate student or postdoc as mentor, right? And then at the end, we have a final oral presentation session. And then at the end, the 5 Japanese students who worked at Lehigh University fly to Houston to join everybody to tour Rice University, NASA, Rodeo Museum, Zoo, and etc. So originally, this program started in 2016. 2016 September online program, and 2017 February, March. So that was the first year, and as you can see that in the first four years, we only had the Tomodachi program. Tomodachi means friends. Okay. Yes. So each year, 10 students from Japan until 2019, 2020, and then COVID hit us. So for 1 year, we didn't have the program, and when we restarted this program, two new things happened. First, we started sending some Japanese students to Lehigh University. So Tomodachi students, 10 students, 5 students went to Lehigh, and 5 students came to Rice University. So that was the first year. We divided the Japanese group into 2. But the other new thing we started this year was the inclusion of Taiwanese students. So first year, we had 2 students from NTU, National Taiwan University, Jesse and Xuan, and then 3 students from here, NCHU, Peggy, Penny, and Amy. They're all sitting here. And then this year, 2022, 2023, February, March, the program ended successfully. So there are 10 students here, 5 Japanese students and 5 Taiwanese students. They shared rooms. They lived together. So this group includes Emily, Iris, and Sophia from this school. A little bit more details about what they did. This is a very, very multidisciplinary program, right? So 5 Japanese students went to Lehigh, and the 10 students came to Rice. So 5 Taiwanese students, for example, Penny worked for a professor in ECE, Electrical and Computer Engineering. Amy worked for a professor in Material Science and Nanoengineering. And Jesse worked for a professor in Physics and Astronomy. And Peggy worked for me in Electrical and Computer Engineering. So students in this program work in various disciplines, different departments in science and engineering. This is for latest one. So Emily worked in my lab. Sophia worked in biosciences. Sophie worked in bioengineering. Jennifer worked in physics and astronomy. Iris worked for professor in mechanical engineering, and so on. So, so that was a quick overview of the program. Let me tell you a little bit more about the history of this program, how everything started. 2006. So this was the beginning. I was still an assistant professor at the time, and the NSF is a National Science Foundation. So the U.S. National Science Foundation correctly recognized that the international cooperation in science is not a luxury. It is a necessity and the foundation for the future. And they created a new program called PIRE, P-I-R-E, NSF, Partnerships for International Research and Education Program. This was a rather big program, spending millions of dollars on selected teams and topics. And this was unique because we were able to spend money both on research and education. Research, of course, so this program enables US researchers to establish collaborative relationships with international colleagues outside the US. And at the same time, this program promotes the development of a diverse, globally engaged US scientific and engineering workforce. So our team at Rice was selected in the first year of the PIRE program. And then after 5 years, we got renewed. So we had a PIRE program for 5 years. And I was the PI on the US side, and then our partners were all in Japan. So we worked with many professors in Japan, Osaka University, University of Tokyo, Tohoku University, Tokyo Institute of Technology, Shinshu University, Chiba University, Osaka Institute of Technology, Hokkaido University, Kyoto University, and Okinawa Institute of Science and Technologies. And we did a lot of collaborative research. And overall, the research was related to nanoscience, material science, and optoelectronics. That was the research side. But on the education side, we initiated an innovative undergraduate program called Nano Japan. So Nano Japan started in 2006 and ended in 2015 for 10 years. So this was a 12-week summer research internship program in Japan for US undergraduate students. So every summer, we sent a group of undergraduate students to Japan to do research. And the research was related to the main theme of the PIRE program. So I should emphasize that we sent freshmen and sophomores. We focused on young undergraduate students, very young. So everything was new. So research was new, international experience was new. So this made a huge impact on their future career. We received an award for developing this program, and there are 144 alumni who participated in this program. So each summer we sent 10 to 14 students, or sometimes 16, between 10 and 16 students, and they individually went to different labs. They were assigned to different laboratories like Tohoku University, University of Tokyo, Tokyo Institute of Technology, Chiba, Osaka, Okinawa, and Kyoto. So they spent 3 months doing cutting-edge research. Again, I want to emphasize that these are young students, a freshman, sophomore, first year, second year undergraduate students. And I'm very happy to tell you that now some of them are professors or faculty members at very good institutions. For example, Vala participated in the Nano Japan program in 2007, the second year of the Nano Japan program. Now he's an assistant professor at Cornell University. Amal participated in our program in 2008. She's also an assistant professor at Cornell University. And Leora participated in our program in 2009. Now she's an assistant professor of Stanford University. Right. But then something happened in 2011, as you know. So this is when the Tohoku earthquake and tsunami occurred, March 11th. Right? So in 2011, we had already selected students, U.S. students, to send to Japan in February. But then in March, tsunami and earthquake happened, and of course, our host labs could not continue research. They could not host our students, and some of the labs were destroyed, and they couldn't do any research. So we quickly decided to reverse the program. Instead of sending U.S. students to Japan, in that year we invited Japanese students to come to Rice to do research. So this reverse Nano Japan program happened in 2011. So we had already selected 14 U.S. students to go to Japan, but instead of going to Japan, they all came to Rice. In addition, we invited 25 Japanese students whose research was suspended due to the tsunami, earthquake, and power outages. So we had a huge group of people, students, US students and Japanese students, and they all came to Rice, this small campus. So all these students worked together in different labs. I hosted all these students at the same time in our lab. But so basically, so that these Japanese students and US students worked together during that summer, and we had a series of seminars, introduction to nanoscience seminars given by various professors participating in this program. We also created some cultural, small Japan within Rice, and we gave workshops, taiko workshops, and bento picnics, and calligraphy workshops, and curry parties, and origami workshops, and somen workshops. A lot of things happened in Japan. So, but this experience hosting Japanese students in 2011 really prepared us to develop a new program. So when the Nano Japan program ended 2015, we immediately started the Tomodachi program because we knew that we can do it, and it's a good program. So we formally applied for funding, and we received funding from the U.S.-Japan Council, and again 2016 was the first year. And I want to emphasize that in the first year, the program was open to both male and female students. There were no restrictions, and we expected that most of the applicants will be male students because of the dominance of male students in STEM in Japan. But it turns out that the number of female applicants was larger than the number of male applicants. We are very surprised. It turns out that in Japan, at least, in science and engineering, female students are more interested in international activities, looks like. And in the end, in the first year, we had six female students and 4 male students. That's right. So we decided, well, okay, here's an opportunity to make an impact, because as you may know, Japan is known to have the lowest share of women in studying science. According to a report, Japan had the lowest share of women studying science among 36 comparable organizations. Yes, so we need a program to inspire women to pursue these studies in science and engineering. So that's why from the second year we decided to focus on female undergraduate students. Right, so that's the story of the Tomodachi program. So let me switch gears and talk about how the Machi program started. So first of all, Machi, well, Professor Samson already explained what it means. So this is not a very good acronym, right? So M-A-C-H-I come from this STEM-based exchange internship. But Machi and Tomodachi work very well together. Right? Tomodachi also means friends. So how this program started was basically these are the two professors, Taiwanese professors, who are responsible for the creation of this program. Professor Jinho Lee, National Taiwan University, and Tiffany Hui Kwang Yu at Venture University. So they, one by one, they were the director of the Science and Technology Division in the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office, TECO, in Houston from 2019 to 2011 and 2021 to 2022. So they started interacting with me, and they saw what we were doing with the Japanese students, and we discussed how we can do something similar for Taiwanese students. So we started looking for funding, sponsoring. So they contacted this famous business person, Don Wang, who is the chair of the E&M Foundation in Houston, a super rich person, very, very successful, millionaire, billionaire, I don't know. But he is a distinguished alumnus of NCHU. He graduated from this university. So he said, yeah, let's do it. So, and then he further invited other millionaire friends. They're all Taiwanese. Frank Liu and Rocky Lai and Su Xiao. So these are the four sponsors of the Machi program. Yeah, so they're very nice. This is Rocky's house, huge, like a castle. So we had a big party inviting both Machi students and Tomodachi students and Rice faculty members and some Japanese graduate students. And so basically both last year and this year they invite our students to this famous steakhouse, Taste of Texas, and they treat the students very, very well. All right, so this is going very well. So that's why we are expanding this program, and I hope that many of you will apply. When is the deadline for applications? Is this application? Okay. So so during the first 2 years, we involved students only from these two universities, NCHU and NTU, but also this year there will be students from Venture University and National Taiwan Normal University. So more and more universities are interested in this program. Right. Okay. So the remaining time, I wanted to talk about the graduate schools in the U.S., hoping that some of you interested in applying to graduate schools in the US, especially at Rice. Okay, I'm the director of this particular program called the Rice Applied Physics Program. This is physics, but don't be scared. If you're not a physicist, it doesn't matter. So I will talk about this, but this is a truly unique multidisciplinary program. Okay, so our students work for various professors in various departments in science and engineering. So first, as a general statement, I want to make sure that you all know that the graduate students in the US pursuing PhD degrees in science and engineering are fully funded. So if you go to a research university, so this is true. So because when many people think that in the U.S. the tuition is too high. That's true for undergraduate students, but for graduate studies, you don't care about tuition because you don't have to pay tuition. You either get a fellowship or TA-ship or RA-ship, that you don't have to pay anything, and you are fully funded. You will receive a stipend. Okay, so typically in the first year, you do TA or fellowship. If you have a fellowship, you don't have to do TA, and then typically from the second year, you become an RA, research assistant, and your professor will pay you. Your professor will pay you a stipend. Currently, in our program, for example, $2,916 per month, which is more than enough for one person to live in Houston. Houston is such a big city, but the cost of living is very low compared to other big cities like San Francisco or New York City, right? And then tuition waiver. So you never think about tuition. Somebody will pay your tuition. Okay. So basically, you can fully focus on research without any financial concerns if you come to the US. And when you apply for a graduate program, what do you need to submit? So there are three standard things: GPA, GRE, and TOEFL. However, I should say that many schools, including Rice, have recently stopped requiring GRE. So at Rice, all graduate programs stopped requiring GRE. So you don't have to worry about GRE. So just two, GPA, of course, you have a GPA from your current school, and then the only thing you should focus on is TOEFL, right? So at Rice, a minimum score is 90, right? But so in addition, so these are actually more important. You need very strong recommendation letters. You need to write a very good essay about why you applied to this program, what you want to do in the future, which professors you want to work for, and so on. And then anything else that shows your promise as a researcher. So like as an undergraduate student, if you have publications or presentations, conference presentations, include anything that shows that you have research experience or research promise. The first 2 years, well, let's skip this. Okay, right. So let me talk about this particular program we have at Rice. This is called the Applied Physics Graduate Program. It was founded in 1990. From the very beginning, this has been a very unique program providing an interdisciplinary education to develop an ability to apply physics principles to important problems in modern science and technology. Basically, many of our students have undergraduate degrees in physics, but that's not a requirement. They are using physics principles in various disciplines in science and engineering. And in fact, our program is not a department. Our students can work for professors in any of the departments, both in the school or College of Engineering and the College of Natural Sciences, such as bioengineering, bioscience, chemical and biomolecular engineering, mathematics, material science, nanoengineering, physics, and astronomy, and so on, right? And our students can even work for professors at the Texas Medical Center. So many of our students are doing biomedical related research, even though their PhD will be eventually in applied physics. And many of our students are working for professors in data science nowadays, and neuroengineering and quantum. So quantum, this is a new initiative, campus-wide initiative. I'm heavily involved in this, and we are working on quantum algorithms, quantum simulation, quantum devices, and quantum materials and chemistry. So this is the current distribution of our students in terms of which professors, which departments that they are working in. So currently 45.6% of our students are working for professors in the ECE department, Electrical and Computer Engineering department. 17.6% of our students are working for professors in physics and astronomy, and so on. So number 3, chemistry, chemical and biomolecular engineering, bioengineering, material science, nanoengineering, and Texas Medical Center. So so from this point of view, our program is unique because there's so many potential advisors, professors. So we sometimes exaggerate by saying that the faculty to student ratio is 5:1. So on average, each about 5 faculty members interested in hiring each applied physics student. Right. We also have some special opportunities available only for applied physics students. We have a scholar exchange program with universities in Europe, 1 university in France and 1 university in Germany. So our students go there to do research, and sometimes they take classes there too. We have special travel awards for students who attend conferences. And we also have something called Innovative Research Graduate Fellowships and annual competitions. Students write proposals, and we provide funding, small funding, but within the program. Right, so because of all these, our program is always highly ranked within the category of applied physics. There are 48 applied physics graduate programs in the United States, and especially during the last 2 years, Rice has been #1. So this year we tied with Northwestern and Stanford. So we're expanding the program. Before 2019, we were hiring only 9 students per year. So now we are hiring 20 students per year. These are some of our alumni, applied physics alumni. These are people who remain academia, professors. University of Chicago, Illinois, University of Illinois, Chicago, Iowa State University, Nanjing University, and this person is in industry or startup money, a startup company, CEO. This person is a group leader at Max Planck Institute in Dresden. This person is a program manager at a government agency. frequently asked question number one, what kind of coursework is required? We require each student to complete at least 90 hours of credit, consisting of 27 hours of coursework and 63 hours of research. So 27 hours, typically 27 hours of credit work means 9 courses, because one course is typically 3 credit hours. And 9 has to consist of 4 core courses and 5 elective courses. And 4 core courses have to be fundamental physics courses to choose from this list, including classical dynamics, mathematical methods, quantum mechanics, 1, 2, statistical physics, classical electrodynamics, solid state physics, and so on. 4 from this list, and then 5 elective courses from this massive list. More than 150 elective courses we have to choose from. Let me skip this. Yes. So what's the difference between physics and applied physics? So there are 2 ways to answer this. So traditionally, physics and applied physics are both physics programs, and the physics is more fundamental, pure physics, and applied physics is more technology oriented. So high energy physics, particle physics, nuclear physics, atomic physics, condensed matter physics, these are typically considered to be fundamental physics. Solid state physics, semiconductor devices, materials physics, and optoelectronics, these are considered to be applied physics. So traditionally, these are the differences between physics and applied physics. But at Rice, this model doesn't apply, as you already saw. At Rice, applied physics means material science, electrical engineering, physics, chemical engineering, chemistry, bioengineering, computer science, and biosciences. So all these are included in our definition of applied physics. Okay, let me skip all these. And what is the work life of an applied physics graduate student? Rice, talk to the experts. So talk to these people, they're all here. They know about the graduate students' life at Rice. Let me summarize. I want to share with you some comments from previous participants of the Nano Japan program and the Tomodachi and Machi program to see what they're saying. So basically, participating in these internship programs is about discovery. Discovering science, discovering the world, and discovering yourself. And many students, many previous participants talk about network. I gained a valuable network of friends and professional relationships. I was able to make several very close friends who I am still in contact on today. So you can make many friends and contacts. And many previous participants talk about cultural differences. Of course, the US and Asia culture is very different. Being a Nano Japan alumnus means becoming someone who is sensitive and adaptable to different cultures in a professional or academic environment. This might seem strange, but I'm now far more involved with American culture than I was before, right? By knowing a different culture, now you are more aware about your own culture. Also, the many participants, when they participate, they are very young. And but by participating in these programs, their confidence level increases. Taught me not to fear cultural and language barriers in science, significantly increased my confidence as a researcher, I have greatly increased comfort and confidence in research environments. Also in terms of career considerations, your future training for graduate school, because your undergraduate students, you want to know about graduate students' life. Nano Japan served as one of the most transformative experiences in my life. The introduction to magnetism and spin-related research that eventually led me to pursue a PhD in magnetics. This person is now a professor at Cornell University. My lab in Nano Japan gave me a realistic taste of graduate school life, the good and the bad, that many students lack when they apply for graduate school. Some comments from Japanese students. I had been able to express my opinion clearly. I also got used to American straightforward expression instead of Japanese vague expressions. I could proceed with my research by having many discussions. But as for communication with foreign professor, I could not stop bowing when I met him there instead of just saying hello. I believe that the relationship with people I met through my internship and the stimulus from them would be really useful for my research activities and job recruitments. I've built connection with people working on nanotech around the world. This is from this year. This program is very unique because of its focus on women. There are fewer women in STEM fields generally, and I believe it's very important for us to meet other women pursuing studies in this area. I hope the programs like this one, promoting women in STEM, will expand in the future so that more women know that this is an option for them and have role models to look up to and be inspired by. In the US, there are many, many role models from this point of view. These are some of the alumni, recent alumni of the Tomodachi and Machi programs. So Natsumi participated in the Tomodachi program in 2017. The second year, she came back to Rice as a graduate student, and she graduated with a PhD in 2022. Now she's a postdoc at UC Berkeley. Utana Umezaki participated in the Tomodachi program in 2018. She also came back to Rice. Now, she's a current graduate student at Rice in chemistry. And Yukina Chiba participated in the program 2019. She came from Nagoya University. She's currently a graduate student at Rockefeller University in New York City, studying biological sciences. Sophie from NTU, she just participated in the program, has been accepted by a graduate program in bioengineering at UT Austin. So I saw her on Sunday in Taipei. Yeah, she's flying to Austin in August. All right, so that's all I have. Yeah, hopefully many of you will be interested either in applying to the